Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your favorite neighborhood presentation guy, and I'm here today to talk about one of the most groundbreaking PowerPoint features that has been introduced in a long time, and that is the transition called Morph. Now, I use Morph for almost everything these days. Morph has made my life so much easier. Now, you may be saying to yourself, the presentation guy is really excited about Morph. Well, I am. It's amazing. Not only can you move objects from one slide to the other with relative ease, but you can actually change colors. You can transform pictures into words and a triangle into a circle or a photo into another photo. I'm telling you, the possibilities are endless. I use Morph all the time, and you should too. Animations that used to take me a long time, little complex things where I had to adjust timing and worry about all these different elements and have a timeline this long, I don't have to do that anymore. So let's go ahead and dive into it, and I'm going to show you some of the most amazing things you can do with Morph. You ready to go? All right, here we go. Shh. All right, so today we're talking about the power of PowerPoint's Morph transition. Now, what I just showed you is actually a Morph. If you notice, we have those bars coming in, one at an angle, one grows from the bottom. We have some type, which is flying in from the left and right, and also rotating in as well. So how did we do this? Well, let me go ahead and jump out of slideshow mode, and I can show you behind the scenes how we went ahead and did that. So the first thing you want to do is lay out what you want your final slide to look like. So I just made sure I had my type all aligned, and I drew these red bars because I'm a Run DMC fan. So I wanted to give a little homage to one of my favorite old school rap groups there. And I'm going to go to slide one and zoom out a little bit. Now I'm on a Mac and I'm in dark mode here, so I know it's kind of hard to see. But we have the power of PowerPoint. It's over here. We have Morph down here. We have transitions rotated. We also have the bar down below shrunk a little bit, and also the bar up above rotated. So this is where you get a little bit more creative. I just wanted to have everything be a little dynamic. So you place where you want things to start on the first slide. On the second, you place them where you want it to end up. And all you have to do is go up to transitions and select Morph, okay? And once you select Morph, that is when your slideshow looks like this. Aha, there we go. All right, so let's take a look at some other uses for Morph, something that you would use in your everyday presentation, something like this. I'm going to go ahead and play this. Just having things slide in from the left and right. I do that all the time. It's just a more dynamic way to show things and gives it a little bit more polish. All right, another use for Morph that is very useful is creating a gallery. Now you see here we have 5 book titles. We have a larger one in front, and they get progressively smaller as you go back. And when I advance to the next slide, you notice that everything shifts over one. The one over to the right comes back over to the left, and we get, things grow and things are moving. Now all I'm doing is using Morph. So on the slide previous, or the first slide, you see I have, this Last Apprentice on the left here, and you notice the next slide, the Last Apprentice moved over, and you just move everything over one. And a good practice thing to do here is to make sure that you have guides set up when you do something like this. So when everything moves, they are, looking smooth and right in the right place. All right. So another thing we can do, you can create anagrams. Now this is a fun one. This is fun if you are a word lover like I am. Say we have the word listen. Now, if you don't know what an anagram is a word that works one way, and then you can rearrange the letters and it means something else. So here we have listen, and we have our headphones, and then we advance, and then we have it silent, okay? And then we have our little red thing come in saying, hey, silent, no headphones, right? So how did we do this? This is just another Morph now, but this one is a little bit different. Instead of, let me go ahead and show you. When we go up to effect options, again, Morph is selected. When you go over here to effect options, you see object is selected here. But you also have words and you have characters. So on the second slide, when we select that one, we want to select characters. Okay, so when you select characters, that means all your letters are going to move around. If you did words, your words are going to move around. So let me show you some other quick things you can do. Let's go ahead and make a new slide. We started with complex and we're going a little bit backwards, but I think it's okay because I want to show you a couple of things you can do. So let's go ahead and make this guy green. And let's go ahead and make another circle here and make it yellow. Okay, so it looks kind of like a MasterCard logo in an alternate universe or something, right? So let's go ahead and take our next slide, duplicate it, and let's go ahead and change the color of this yellow to, say, orange, and this green, say to, oops, say to blue. Now, let's make sure that transition morph is selected for the second one. That's what we need to do. So let's go ahead and play that and see what happens. And did you see that? Just a simple color change. You can also change colors. All right, so we know that you can now change color, you can change position, you can move characters and words around, but what else can you do? Now, this is going to be a little bit more advanced, but I think it's super cool and it's really not that hard, just a little bit more advanced than what we're doing now. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this slide. I'm hitting Command D on the Mac. And instead of these two circles, I'm going to go ahead and create a triangle. I just want that triangle to be kind of the same height-ish. And let's go ahead and make that a purple triangle, okay? Let's get rid of our circle. And then we're going to make another shape. Let's say we'll make this little pentagram thing here, polygon, I don't know what you call it. Pentagram? Let's go with that. That sounds devilish, but let's go ahead and make that yellow, because you know the color is important. Color's important. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and morph these shapes into these shapes. Now, how do you do that? If we go ahead and select that last, box and go to transitions, make sure morph is selected. Let's go ahead and see what happens when we play this. Okay, so when you play it, doesn't do anything because they're not the same object. They always have to be the same object when you morph, okay? Okay, so now that that transition isn't working, what do we need to do in order to get these guys to morph into each other? Well, let me show you. I'm just going to go ahead and click on this triangle. And I'm going to go up to Shape Format. And you'll see something right here called Selection Pane, okay? Let's go ahead and click that. And now over here we have literally our selection pane. We have both of the items, triangle 3 and regular pentagon 5. Same thing, we go back up to the slide. We have oval 1, oval 2. Now the first thing we want to do is click on one of the objects, double click on that, and we want to go ahead and rename that. So bear with me, but okay, so the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and type 2 exclamation points, okay? Boom, boom. And let's go ahead and leave that as oval. I want the orange triangle is going to be called oval with the 2 exclamations. And let's go ahead and make this pentagon, not pentagram. We're going to make it two exclamation points and oval. Okay, and then I'm going to hit enter. Let me make sure they're called the same thing. Perfect. Now, when I hit play now, those 2 exclamation points should, yes, they should enable those things to morph into each other. If we do the same thing with the next one, if we call that boom, boom, triangle 3, and then we go to the first one, and we call this boom, boom, triangle 3. You have to make the boom, boom sound, okay? Triangle 3. So does it have a space in it? It has to be called the same thing. Okay, so this one didn't have a space. Let's go ahead and double click that, put a space in it, bam. All right, now let's see what we get. There you go. Now, that is pretty cool, right? All right, let me even show you something else. Let me go ahead and grab a couple pictures here. I'll grab this book here. How about we grab these 2 books, okay? And we'll come down here and make a new slide. So I'm going to go ahead and take this first one, and I'm just holding Shift and Control to scale this up, okay? Let's see. Looking down here at my preview window, that looks pretty good. I'm going to take this red book away. Let's see. Let's get that centered. Perfect. There we go. That's what I was looking for. All right, let's duplicate that slide. And I'm just going to put the red book. I'm just keeping that other one there for just to kind of show me where I want this to be pasted. So something like that. Let me use my Shift Control trick. Okay, something like that. I'm going to, now this is just my little workflow, but I want to get rid of that other object behind it. So I'm just going to send this red one to the back. So I'm just hitting Shift Command B. It goes to the back, and then I delete this. So we're going to go to this book here, and it's called Image. Let's go ahead and insert our 2 exclamation points here. Call that Image, and let's go to the second one. Now let's call Image 2. That's perfect. 2 exclamation points. Let's make sure that this one is selected and Morph is enabled. And let's go ahead and see, will it work with a photo too? It does. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So even to make that even more cool, let me go ahead and make this bigger because it looks like it's just fading right now, but it's not. So let's go ahead and see what that does when I make that bigger. Wow, that is pretty cool. I mean, it's not just fading, it's not just moving, it's literally one thing changing into the other. So you can force different objects, text, all kind of things to change into other items just by using that 2 exclamation point thing with the selection pane. Super, super cool. All right, so I hope you guys learned something today. Morph, super powerful, super versatile. Use it all the time. I encourage you guys to use it whenever you can. It's gonna make you look so professional, so polished, whether you're doing a graph, whether you're doing some crazy photo, video, collage thing. It's gonna work out amazing for you. All right, and before we leave, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. Also, click that little bell next to it, get notifications, and go ahead and click that like button too. There's 3 things you can click, 3. Also, do me a favor, if you wanna see more videos like this, head over to LinkedIn Learning or lynda.com, either one of those. I have 2 courses up there. One is Secrets of Silicon Valley Presentation Design. The other one is a weekly course called Presentation Tips Weekly. And I do a lot of stuff like this, even cooler stuff, quite honestly. So go ahead and check that out. I'll put the links in the description below, and I will see you next time with more Presentation Guy tips from the dippity dips. Well, I gotta figure out a name for it, but right now we're gonna call it that. So I'll see you next time with more cool tips and tricks from the Presentation Guy.